Secondly, his arsenals to receive appropriate upgrades in exchange for the gear offered to Koi if he so accepts, including modifications and requisitions. Thirdly, a mandatory physical and mental improvement to ensure that the Benefitter is the best Crusader of all time. Oh yeah, just stroking your own dick right there on that one. Fourthly,
I'm honestly, that sounds like something written by like an elementary school or like a small child wrote that.
Yeah,
The best
fourthly,
Crusader. I'm the best Crusader of all time, guys.
Fourthly, this contract shall improve the violence solves everything divination granted by thy emperor. Lastly, the degree to that services will be provided and will depend on the signee who signs it and the degree of power given. Section 3. Lastly, Section 3 shall concern the greatest of concerns, the benefitter. First, let us first establish some rules before getting to the benefitter. Number 1, he shall have the right to privacy when the contract is being signed. 2. Koi nor any of his vassals shall harm the benefitter. 3. Koi shall not reveal the details nor nature of the document to anyone besides the benefitter or himself once he places his seal. 4. Koi shall not make any unwarranted changes or modifications to the user's detriment. Next comes the consequences for violating these terms. 1. Firstly, any souls and potential for demonic or psychic potential shall return immediately to the signee. 2. The benefits to the benefitter, Zachary Lickenell, will on initial agreement, shall remain as well any changes or benefits offered before the violation. And 3, any other changes made after the contract is accepted shall remain that way. That shall conclude the contract. Are you fucking kidding me? I got fucked over for this.
Also, he doesn't even get to keep that gear, because didn't it say that his gear would be forfeited to fucking porn? Yeah.
So, we have a couple of ways to get out of this. First...
only a couple? A couple?
This could be your major, you could major in this, just how many ways you could subvert this single document.
Oh, yeah. But, like, on our end, if we just make Koi break his side of the agreement by disclosing any of these points, any details about the contract, it's void.
Yep. In the slightest.
You can literally just ask him to, here's the thing, he did the same thing, no, he didn't do the same thing, he made the mistake of just never mentioning how long this contract lasts, so it's not binding.
It's not active.
And he did not mention, when he mentioned the benefitter, and then later mentioned Zachary, those are two different individuals. As those are not established names.
Yeah, there's not established as the beneficiary. Also know of Zachary something.
You could...
This or on the beneficiary. You establish who you're talking about.
Yeah, he would have to remain using the language of either or, and then have that signature at the bottom to determine who is the beneficiary. But
the problem is, contract can't just say, yes, use a consistent name, and then suddenly change said name. Unless it was like a document about using an alias.
It's like at the start he was trying for a more traditional contractual fucking structure, and then just gave up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the best Crusader ever.
I'm gonna be the best Crusader ever. I'm the Crusader. Deal with it.
God, that just reminds me of that annoying ass.
Getting fucking sucked into the fourth dimension.
That just reminds me of that.
Me.
That just reminds me of that fucking annoying ass little bastard kid that you knew in school who had the everything proof shield.
Oh, there's a 5K ping.
Beautiful. Nice low. Love that internet connection.
I just say.
Well,
also,
Kitty, it looks like we have to put our. It looks like we have to put our rivalry.
You don't include any system of battle in your army.
No.
Anyway.
Because battle formations or system of battle are a religious organization and event.
Oh yeah.
Same with Space Marines. Same with Titans.
Oh, there we go. It's good.
Oh yeah.
That's why I have a section of clauses in there. To make sure
that's what I told you.
There are things that are allowed with regards to that. So
But yeah, you can literally just
if
you really
is okay.
if you learn about this contract, you can literally just go up to Koi and go, hey, you know this one's not binding, right? You just fuck him over at any point and get 2 souls for it.
Oh yeah, you mean that clause that we told you to get because also it's not complete. So I hope you don't introduce any system of battle in your army.
Yeah.
That obliteration of soul is gonna be painful. Anyhow, let's continue with Broken Fangs.
Ah yes, let's return to
Also-
the...
Let's actually do
I
what we're
just-
supposed to be reading.
Yep. Also, I just want to say too that that's just about as fucking stupid as that little bastard kid that you knew when you were on school and playing on the playground who had the everything-proof shield.
I have the everything
We
protection
didn't.
shields.
We just punch each other. So,
Again,
yes.
if you
Broken
didn't-
Fangs. Yay.
if you didn't punch the kid that said I have an everything-proof shield, you didn't do it. You didn't do it right.
look,
no,
you're
no.
proving to them that they don't have a everything-proof jail because you just punched them.
Oh no,
Right,
if
my
we even
fist-
so much as looked like we were gonna hit another kid, then we got in trouble. Not that I care,
Oh no!
but
that I care.
Oh no! We got to
The
fight
fucking
every
kitty.
time.
Kitty was on the Kitty was on the playground getting fucking prison tattoos on his ass cheeks, fucking smoking cigarettes, flicking a switchblade at something, tongue fucking all the other girls. That was Kitty on the playground.
Damn.
I wish.
Damn.
No, there was a. We'd always
He's
have
like,
these
I already
kids
did
that
my
were-
damn bitch. I was selling fucking weed to the 10th graders.
There we
was,
go.
It has
been immortalized.
when I was a child. So like, usually you'd get them to shut up by actually punching them. Because at that point, they're like, oh, you actually have the threat of violence over me, and no matter what I say, it's not gonna stop me from getting the shit kicked out of me.
Look, pilots have solved more problems than any other way in history.
Well, the eternal reminder is that every single problem is ultimately solved through violence.
I wonder what the founding fathers of Hiroshima would think about that.
Exactly.
I mean, their problem was solved through violence.
You guys, have you guys never seen Starship Troopers? You were literally like repeating a speech from that movie, like
Yes.
verbatim.
I
Yes,
fully
it was.
believe in the philosophy of Starship Troopers. Warfare is just the continuation of politics by violent means, and the exercise of political force is in fact the exercise of violence. You are
Yeah, I'll
exerting
see if I
force
can-
against the minority.
Here you go, Kitty.
Oh boy. Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics. Yeah. Yeah. I say nothing but yes to that.
There you go. That's the speech.
Failure of democracy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alright,
Hemling was an
guys.
anti-liberal.
Let's get into the whole thing of Blake getting brutally raped over and over because.
Oh,
And then we
no,
can just imagine that it's
yeah,
Ark
Thing isn't fun
instead.
anymore.
Nah, I was gonna say, can we imagine it's both Ark and Blake? I hate them both.
Here's another idea.
More, but
Oh lol.
I like how
Here's an idea.
Ark,
Let's
like-
conspire for a little bit here. What if we ever roll that fucking you turn into a woman thing, just have it applied to Ark's character,
oh yeah.
and then he's no longer the same beneficiary that was on the contract, rendering it null and void, reversing all of it.
Well, we can reverse it. Are you going to take the souls out of Koi?
Oh right, there's no enforcement on it either. There's no fucking enforcement.
So
That's-
he
that's
can
what
just
I
do
mean.
literally whatever he wants, huh?
Yes, that's been my point the entire time. It's non-binding. He can literally go, yes, I will claim the benefits of this contract because it's non-binding, and you can't do anything about it because it's non-binding. Fuck you.
It's like the party
Yeah,
support.
so basically all of the things that he just gave Zach for the contract, he can immediately just take back whenever he wants.
Yeah, it's like that
Nothing-
one.
and he can
one
not
anime.
stop him.
It's like one anime I watched where a bad guy made a fucking loser get superpowers, and he's like, yes, I won't listen to you. I won't be a slave. Immediately uses those powers given to him against his fucking god, And he immediately went, I can just take them away. And he does so, and he turns him into a fucking gravestone.
Isn't that the whole problem
Into a skeleton.
with Salem's plot in Ruby or whatever? She wants to get revenge on the gods, and yet she's trying to get revenge on the gods.
Yes, it's fucking retarded, and that's the same thing.
The same ones that made her immortal, that can just snap their fingers and just disintegrate her like forever. Yeah. Okay.
And the same ones that
immortality can be a curse.
And the same ones that she literally has no idea how to actually fight.
Yeah, her plan is, I'm going to summon them so I can get revenge on them, and that's as far as she's gotten. How do you get revenge on them?
Look, I never thought I would get this far.
It just goes to that plankton meme. I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far.
I never thought I'd get this far.
That's probably Ark at this point, where it's like, I honestly didn't think I'd get this far. Now I have Soul Captain Soul, and I got all this sweet loot, and I'm on par with everybody else. Meanwhile, Captain could just call Koi and go, I feel strange today. I wonder what happened. Hey, Koi, what's up? Oh yeah, he sold me a soul. Here.
Oh, it's immediately void because I told you about it. Whoops, sorry.
Oh, he no longer has any of that. Oh no, he lost all of it.
Look, the only evil creature that I give my soul to is the Void Dragon, so... But that's ancient accords.
Alrighty, guys. Let's do this.
Enough faffing about, enough avoiding this horrible garbage that we're about to read. It's boring as fuck.
Oh, you love it. Shut up.
I mean,
look,
I
the
love
anime
hearing
fucking
Kitty
needs
read
to
it
be
'cause-
reduced in length, okay?
'cause he's so good.
Oh, hey, Kitty, we're still gonna have to watch Ruby together at one point.
No,
yes.
please.
Oh my god, I
Yes.
feel it. Oh, it feels so good.
Broken
Sorry.
Fangs, Chapter 10, The Deal. Well, Saffron's been given the hard deal. Nervousness warred with her as she barely slept. The soup had tasted good. She had ravished the daughter of the household in a fit of pique. What the? No. No! That's not what that
What?
word means. In a fit of pique.
Wait, the sentence is there?
Quote.
I'm
She had
confused already.
ravished the daughter of the household in a fit of pique, comma,
Rage.
of anger and frustration, comma, her instincts telling her to slam the bitch down and make her pay.
That's
I
not
think-
how.
I
That's
think
not how
that-
you. That's not
It's
how
not
you
even a
use
sentence.
peak. Peak is like an accessory word that needs to be right next to your actual, point. Yeah.
It's an adjective you use to describe like verbs or whatever, right? I think.
Yeah, but you need to break it down even further for these fucking retards
So,
that apparently keep writing this trash.
And they
People
continue
pay
to
for
write.
this.
And they continue
Kitty.
to write.
I really think there's meant to be another word there. Because I don't think she meant on the peak of a mountain.
so here's...
Kitty,
No,
when are
it's-
you gonna publish your first fan work? I want you to earn money on these retards because clearly they pay so much money for this ungodly trash.
So,
Garbage.
the word peak, because we're doing this immediately, because this is fucking immediate. As a
Yes.
noun, a feeling of irritation or resentment resulting from a slight, especially to one's pride. It's a
Is that what
feeling
they're
of
trying to say?
irritation. That was not a feeling of irritation.
From getting butt raped. Okay. Yeah.
Similar is
it's just a
irritation,
feeling of it.
annoyance, resentment, displeasure. Very,
know,
very
it's just a-
soft descriptors.
Yeah,
It's
not
just
like
a
rage.
feel- it's just a feeling of irritation when you get so
No.
angry you rape somebody.
I was just so minorly irritated that I fucking raped her. It's like, Jesus, mate.
Look, rape
As
is
a
natural
verb-
in this universe, so...
Fair enough. Fair
As
enough.
a verb, it is stimulate, which is the most common usage of it, as you've piqued my curiosity, for example, or irritated or resentful. She was piqued by his curtness. Back to the shitty story.
Back to the story.
Of anger and frustration, her instincts telling her to slam the bitch down and make her pay. She woke up to the sound of a door opening, seeing Tara stand there, a look on her face that was neutral as she nudged Yang with a foot. It was a touch that made her shiver as Terra's eyes were calm with deliberation. Master Ark requests both of you in his bedchambers. The words were calmly spoken as the cat woke up once more and started to meow about the whole revolution stuff. I'm going to fucking show you where you can stop the revolution of yours, cat.
Please
do.
stop talking about revolution. The revolution.
No,
Shut
okay,
up, French woman.
I was gonna say, no, Lau, what'll happen is she'll keep talking about it for 40 chapters, then she'll disappear for like 10 chapters, and we never find out what happens to her, and then she just reappears. It's great, trust me.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, her vanishing just makes the story more interesting, right?
Well, I mean,
She
she only
disappears.
vanishes for like 10 chapters, though, that's the problem.
Yeah, but her going away at all makes those chapters more interesting.
No, it makes it
Shut
even more
up!
boring. Trust me.
Please, let me have some hope!
Good.
You'll have no hope here.
Look,
wasn't-
she referred in a fit of mildly annoyance.
Okay. That makes this next fucking sentence so much funnier. She wasn't a violent woman.
Cap, back me up on this. That's, yeah.
That's a fucking lie.
I'm not a violent person, but
It's the biggest lie I've ever heard in my entire life. Holy shit.
if you minorly annoy me, I'm going to rape you.
That would really be like the God of War from 40K, like Korn coming down going, like, I'm not a violent man, but if you
It'd be like
mildly
Korn
annoy
saying
me-
that.
This is fucking-
It'd be like Korn saying, I'm not really that angry.
But if you mildly annoy me, I will add your fucking skull to my collection.
Skulls for the skull throw.
She wasn't a violent woman, nor did she have the instinctive desire to hurt someone, except when they transgress upon what was hers.
What was hers? What classifies as yours? You're a slave. You own nothing.
You don't have any property, whore.
No.
But the cat had just the worst survival instincts that she had seen.
Fair. That's a fair assessment.
Yep. Getting dressed after a quick shower and forcing Blake to get dressed, she... Just say do the same. She allowed herself a moment of thought, knowing that Kitty McDumpsterfire seemed to have it in her thick skull that she's special. You're going to behave, Black. The words were simple, sharp, and the cat faunus looked at her as if she was suggesting that she get herself naked in public. You're usually naked anyways. Oh, why should we? The fist hit Blake in the stomach. You're not a violent person.
Look,
Except
she's
for-
annoying
except for-
her, okay?
except-
She has a...
Okay, let me put it this way. You could be like a pacifist like Gandhi. Even Gandhi would deck this. Even Gandhi would deck her. Okay, honestly.
No, Gandhi would have more restraint. Let's be honest. He managed to sleep naked with a bunch of young girls without touching them.
Yeah, sure.
I know, but he would kill her. I'm guarantee you. Gandhi is the man. He would do that.
He would nuke her.
He would nuke.
Look, she's mildly annoying her, so...
Oh my god.
we need to be careful, otherwise she's going to rape her.
Very careful now.
Careful, Black. I'm going to rape you if you keep annoying me this minorly. Oh, fuck. Her fist hit Blake in the stomach. This was enough backtalk from the cat faunus for Yang's liking. If she hadn't been with bitchy McBlonde last night, she would have probably suffered some more of the stress before snapping, but this was it for Yang. You're going to listen, cat. You're going to be be meek as a fucking kitten around me, and when you open your facey cock gargler of yours, it better be to be polite to the man who's keeping your head on your shoulders.
Have we read this? Because this feels... I
No,
feel
the
an
author just,
insane
like,
amount of deja vu.
The author
No,
just,
we
like,
have
repeating
been
their
the
point
same... Yeah, we have
4.7 trillion times.
we have been seeing the same scene like 5 times from now.
Uh-huh.
Pretty much.
It just feels like this is just the same scene over and over and over again with different names attached to who calls her dumb motherfucker.
At least Yang has some different insults every time.
Even then,
Look.
is that really enough?
No.
Look, Blake, you need it.
Damn.
She
It's,
does
it's
deserve
like Captain. You just gotta put him through the same thing over and over again. Eventually, he's gonna catch on.
Maybe. One day. Anyways. The look of defiance in the girl's eyes was a warning as Yang exhaled slowly. Those eyes. It dims them. If you want to get results, then use what you've got. Yang's hands grabbed the girl's hips as her fine posterior, an entertaining thing for most men. Nice and full cheeks were a little bouncy and wobbly when manipulated by a firm hand. She guessed. You guess. You're grabbing her ass, but you guess.
Look, she is not a lesbian, but it's a good posterior.
Oh, that'll
She's
change.
not a lesbian, bud.
That'll change.
Yeah, that'll
Again.
change. That already changed.
Shut up. Don't think about it.
Don't think about it. Just don't think about it. Oh,
This
my
ass
God.
is primarily on the streets, you dumb cat. No words. I'm not done speaking yet, bitch. You're going to be a meek little submissive house cat for him. Why? Because he's getting tired of you, kitty. He's happier with me. Wait. No, that was the wrong one. You're going to be a
Yep.
meek little submissive house cat for him. Why? Because he's getting tired of you, kitty. He's happier with me. It brought her a feeling of pride, a sensation of warmth between her legs, you horny whore. I'll admit that it makes me feel happier too. He's nice as far as human goes. His sisters, not so fucking nice. The woman who came to get us was probably sincere when she said that she'd been tracking down your little tiger and training her to be a cockhole for her brother. Humans don't mess around. Or did you think that freaky Auburn just killed a few fawners in front of you for no reason?
I mean, yes, but whatever.
I mean, yes, but also no.
But yes, but no, but actually yes.
The woman might have, but her master was smart. Yang knew that he wanted her to live, but if Kitty didn't get her proper mindset, well, Yang wouldn't be holding her hand over the kitty's head to shield her from the rain. It's only because he likes you as his first. A jealous surge inside her continued to rumble, her whole body aflame with that desire, as she saw Blake slowly pull up the stockings. I can see you looking moody. You're thinking about harming him again, aren't you? The confirmation was enough as the pose shifted. What? There was no confirmation. Unless you're talking about the pose, in which case you need to change that sentence.
I was gonna
Oh.
say, yeah. Did you say she should have given her like a look in the eye or whatever that was like yes? Fucking whatever. Who gives a shit?
Her shift in pose was enough confirmation. Or her shift in pose was confirmation enough. Like, that's all you have to do to make that work. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know what?
You know that. She thought about unveiling the truth to the girl. Their conversations were monitored, and the Arcs were losing their patience. Death was looming over their heads if she read the mood well enough. I'm not going to... hell, fuck it. Your
I'm going
revolution will fail.
I'm going to ban this author from using the word enough ever again. Banned
yeah,
from
if
use.
you've used it well enough.
Oh, God.
I might have been willing to help you keep your head on your neck, but I guess you can't train a dumb animal well. The angry hiss from the girl and the swing that Blake took at her, Yang evaded it swiftly. Why is it structured like that? Her hand pinned the little bitch to her chest in a sudden bear hug, her greater size and strength easily keeping her there. Looking straight into those fierce yellow eyes, Yang had the momentary thought that Saffron might like to break this little bitch kitty in. Listen, girl, this is your last chance at me. I've been told to help my people out, if I ever get the opportunity. I was raised with the politeness that was expected of me, so don't think that you're going to get any favors from me.
Sit your butt down when the master is in the room and listen to his commands. I am done. Fuck up one more time. She didn't finish the sentence.
I'd like to note that fucking Yang is half an inch taller than Blake in terms of size. So
Don't worry, he is a foot and a half, so don't think about it.
It's okay. She just went through character creation a second time. Okay.
Gotcha.
She could break the chains through strength alone. It wouldn't be Blake's head separated from her shoulders. It would be a moment of relief, the pressure being gone. The uppity cat would no longer bother her and her master. I don't need your protection. You're just a deer faunus. Go back to your meadows and graze. Yang's eyes closed. Her blood was burning, even as the girl simply did not learn. Get dressed, Blake. She said the girl's name with venom in her voice as she straightened out her outfit out.
Straighten out her outfit out.
No, it's just straightened her outfit out. But, fuck, that structure is borked.
Straighten her clothes out?
Or straightened out her clothes. Easy.
Yeah, that too.
She put the little cap on. What little fucking cap? You're wearing a maid outfit, you whore. And
Well,
did a
I mean,
little
why do
twirl.
you
I
think
think he's
out?
referring. I
You
think
mean
he's
the
referring to
the
that
French-
little
the
that
French
little
thing.
fringe or a mob cap.
The
Yeah.
frills.
Yeah, if you've seen Toho, you've seen a lot of mob caps. That's probably also what she's referring to. Because I'm pretty sure this douchebag beats it off to Toho.
Probably.
I mean,
I don't
find,
give
me,
him that much credit.
find me a weeb who doesn't.
Hello.
She put the little cap
Yeah,
on
gonna-
and did a little twirl in front of the mirror. She smiled at her reflection, knowing that the master wanted to see her. She wouldn't let the moment be spoiled by someone. Nope. As they were walked to the room of her master, Yang mused on how things would go. He hadn't called them to his room for no reason. She'd garner. What? Perhaps he wants to show me something. A thread of fear came through her. Ooh, I went too far. Or perhaps Saffron Ark spoke to her brother. She had done something really bad to the daughter of the house. With the father of the young man absent and the mother gone from the home on a sojourn to a friend. If she remembered correctly, or remembered right is the correct words. If she remembered right, it was likely that her master was the one who held power in the household. She opened the door, entering before Blake did, bowing before her master. She caught sight of Saffron Ark looking at her with a look. Nah, you don't say. Her heart sinking even more, watching Juniper Ark sit there as well. Like two judges before the executioner's blade. Blake, please, wait. Blake, please sit.
Yeah.
The man pointed in front of him, the faunus making a face, yet not responding to him. Yang mentally growled. It was disrespectful in the highest level to keep standing when ordered to sit by a human. Any other faunus would have been flogged until their back was a modern artwork, but not Miss Kitty. He'd even said please. Ash!
A modern art masterpiece.
Ash! Yang noticed the albino faunus in the corner of the room. The woman's hands rubbed together. Oy vey. Can you please do your thing? Wait. Can you please do your thing? The woman smiled at her master, the smile of kindness, and he had said please to the woman as if it were one of the most natural things. Yang caught the eye of Juniper Ark. The weapon was trained on Blake, casually looking at the expression on the girl's face. Come to kill me, you bastard-born asshole! The words were enough to evoke anger on his sister's face, even as Ash's face showed a frown. It was likely that the faunus had been around for as long as the master's older sister, perhaps even longer. The faunus laid a hand on the girl's shoulder, a glow suffusing the body. She's got an aura. It was not the blazing flame that she had, but more of a muted glow. John looked sad as he watched Blake with an expression that was calmer than he should have. She loathed the man. He looked at her as if she was property. She wasn't anyone's property. The tiger had spoken truth about the revolution, and Adam had backed her up. Would be fire and blood for the humans, and the faunas would rise to find their place in the world once more. As the insult hit, she could feel a bitter vindication inside her well up. The young man's eyes sad as he looked at her. He shouldn't be sad. He should be dead. Jesus! He shouldn't be sad. He should just be dead. That asshole had taken her virginity, one that she'd been saving for her intended, not some asshole who looked like he'd not had the guts to do the right thing. The right thing, like...
Also, I just want you to fucking remember, she was saving her virginity. When in the fucking line and the thing is like, I would happily get pregnant and birth babies for the revolution.
Also,
no, that's another chapter. Don't think about it.
Tell me, Blake, why do you dislike me? The question was simple.
Jesus Christ, the click makes it.
A tugging somewhere inside her as her mouth opened up and she spoke. Because you're a human. Fauna shouldn't be slaves to humans. The words came out as she looked at him. His expression was still calm. His hand motioned to Yang. Please. Wait. Please. Sit in my lap, Yang. His voice was warm and the urge to speak up coming, yet not a single utterance escaping from her lips. He watched her carefully as the traitor came up to stride past her. Undoubtedly, the blonde doe had sucked his cock so... Undoubtedly, the blonde doe had sucked his cock so hard that he'd fallen for her, the rampant woman raper. I'm just gonna take a drink after that one. Jesus.
You know what's
In
funny?
the immortal words of Joshua Graham, a true man of God, I don't enjoy killing, but when done righteously it's just a chore, like any other.
Yeah, oh my god, what I was gonna say is, you know what's funny is that I could like, if things were different, I could see her acting this way, like in the actual show. That's what's amazing about it, you know?
Oh, it is the most accurate fucking fanfiction personality-wise I've ever seen.
Yeah, personality-wise of a character, yeah. It's amazing.
Like, they managed to capture her bitchiness perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Though it's not hard, all you have to do is make an utterly unlikable piece of shit.
Pretty much. But the whole thing about all she focuses on, she doesn't care about herself, all she cares about is the stupid fucking faunus.
Because she's a fucking zealot.
Yeah.
She's an Islamist. She's an Islamist.
And the fact that she realizes that her continued resistance in this current situation is just going to lead to them all being like wiped out for the ones that are like already captured and stuff. You'd think that
fine with that.
Yeah, she's like fine with that, but when you think about it, she probably should be keeping her nose down and her fucking head down until it's the right time to strike instead of openly being defiant as much as possible.
Oh my god,
that's what a smart person would do. And even Yang said she's about as fucking thick as concrete mixed with cement.
Okay. Let's continue. She's a good funness. Why aren't you a good funness, Blake? Is there something that I'm doing wrong?
There should have been a click at the end of that.
Is there something I'm doing wrong? The question was posed as the traitor pressed herself against him, nose to his neck, clearly delighting in the young man's presence. She couldn't understand how the traitor could like such a thing. You exist.
Oh, it's almost like faunus are basically animals, so that once they have a mate, they basically like stick their fucking noses up their ass like a dog does all the time.
Yeah, they don't care anymore.
They don't even need a mate for doing that.
Oh yeah, they just need a
They do that just to say hi. Hey, dude, let me sniff your asshole. Just say hi.
Oh my god, you know what Ark just sent me?
What?
No.
He says, I mean, I can just ask Koi to force you my way and have a talk with you.
Oh, his character really wants to die.
What did he just say?
I mean, I can just ask Koi to force you my way and have a talk with you.
To force you my...
That wouldn't unveil the truth.
Mm-mm.
That
you
wouldn't
know, if he
tip
told
everyone
Koi
off.
to do that, if he told the way, alright, so just to get her off from Broken Fang for just 2 seconds. If he did that, he'd be breaking his own contract by having Koi share information.
Yep.
That's why he should do that.
Absolutely. Actually, Captain, encourage him.
Encourage him to do
Yes.
that.
He loses all his benefits and just realizes, oh, I fucked up.
I fucked up.
Also, this night's loots are run from Toho.
Oh, yes, the nice big titty fox girl. 10 out of 10.
Oh, I want to see.
Oh yeah, Ran Yakumo. It's in the it's
Yes,
in the Not Safe for Work channel.
Only a fool is not appreciative of the big titty fox from Toho.
Tits are temporary, ass is eternal.
Does
Yeah,
that
but I
mean
can't-
does that mean?
Oh
does
my
that mean you,
god,
like-
that reminds me of that one image where it says tits are temporary, ass is eternal, and it showed Doomslayer when he's got like his hands between the ass cheeks. And it says press B to open.
I was gonna say, does that mean you like Blake, Lau?
I can appreciate an ass. What I can't appreciate is a
Is a
rotten
shitty
personality.
I can eat ass, but I won't eat a shitty personality.
Fair.
And if I was gonna keep it up, I'd say tits are temporary, ass is eternal, personality is immortal.
Ooh.
I
You
would
know,
just say that they all are good things and must be held
Oh,
in
they're all
equal
good
repute.
things, but I prefer a woman with ass than a woman with big tits because tits have.
I feel the
Anyway.
same. I feel the same way as long as it's like slightly balanced.
I
Okay,
just want
so
a girl
I
with all of
responded
them.
back to him and I said, yeah, that could work. You do what you want, dude.
Oh no,
Yeah.
he's gonna fuck himself over so bad.
And then Kane can immediately just draw his sword and just fucking dice him. That would
You
be
don't
fucking
even
great.
need to kill him. You can just tell Koi, oh, by the way, remember that part where if you were to ever tell anyone, you'd just cancel the contract? And then Koi's like, oh, right, and looks at him and just deletes it all.
And it all gets canceled. He loses
And Arch
all of his gear. He's just left fucking naked, injured with one critical wound to go
Yeah.
before he dies, and then Kane just steps on him.
Please, for the love of God, do that. Please.
Oh,
Okay,
that
now
would be hilarious.
that rekindled my interest of like actually being excited for next game.
And
Yeah.
then the story arc can be finding a way to get yourself freed from Koi's bullshit.
Yes.
And then you just have to tell Romulus how to kill God. Defeat
And-
beat and dethrone God.
Anyway, back to
Anyway,
back
back to the...
to
Back to
shit.
the less interesting things. You exist. I'm going to gouge you like you get. Her head rocked to the side, the albino crocodile Faunus having smacked her head. You're an oppressor. You exist only to make us serve you. I hate you and all that you represent. The truth is spoken as he merely regarded her, a sad look on his face as he sighed. I guess you're broken too.
You're meaning that she is a Broken Fang?
No, we'll
No,
get
no,
the title drop much later. Don't worry.
No!
Oh my god.
A sad tone to his voice. Blake wanted to scream. She was not broken. Master, please give her another chance. The traitor posed the question, pressing her bodacious body against the young man. Blue eyes closed as she could see him deliberate. Please, for me. It were words that were from a slave, someone who was below the humans. She was a proud faunus. She would never, ever... Juniper. No. The words made the woman move, the barrel of the rifle having been dangerously close to her face, the woman ready to make sure that Blake Belladonna's life ended. Blake. Wait. Blake! You're lucky! She didn't want to hear that from him. She doesn't know how lucky she is, Jean. The escaping air from between his teeth was high-pitched to her sensitive ears. Juniper Arc shut up. The human was looking at her with a look that was just odd. Eyes that had been warm had slowly lost their warmth. Who says that? It was the female. If it had been Mother, you would have been fucked in the public square, Blake. Mother takes matters as such as this very personally. I wouldn't have been with a human or faunus either. It wouldn't have been with a human or faunus either. There was an emotionless quality to it as she looked into his eyes. The blonde traitor gave a soft whimper as her lips pressed against his neck, trying to curry favor. You'd be broadcast to all 4 of the kingdoms as a lesson to what happens to faunus who harm their owner. It was a tone like steel as his eyes looked at her with pity. Mother has no tolerance for disobedience. Juniper is... Wait. Mother has no tolerance for disobedience. Juniper is nicer than Mother, but... He smiled as the traitorous blonde tried to go for a kiss. It's okay. Yeah, Ash, if you would. Do you hate me? A glow as she felt her throat work. Did she hate him? Wait. Do you hate me? A glow as she felt her throat work. Did she hate him? Nein. The words took her by surprise. Was that really how she felt? Why? Why did it feel like she was this way? Why do you resist, then? Is the word of this tiger so important that you would die for it? There was no glow as the woman merely held her hands close. Because... She realized that she didn't need to answer. The woman knew the ancient ways. She had the freedom to speak. She guides us on the path towards freedom. The words were different, but she could see the blonde's traitor eyes meet hers. The accusation was in those eyes as she witnessed a young woman press herself against him. Freedom. Freedom. He guessed as she watched him get up, slow steps towards her as she was kept there in place by the other faunus woman. The woman's grip surprisingly strong. Do you
oh my
really...
God, calm down, whoever that is. Jesus fucking Christ.
No. You forgot to take pings off by pinging him every time I post.
Oh my holy balls.
Turn your pings off then, boy.
Where the fuck is it?
In your settings, go to sounds and notifications.
Enjoying it?
I can just mass ping you too. It's okay, I turn off all notifications for everything. I just wait until I get a flashing light and it's like, oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's all you need. Anyway.
The pleasures of having a fucking stream deck.
Yep.
Do you really desire freedom? There was a sad tone to his voice as he looked into her eyes. She felt a weakness in her as she looked into those deep blue pools that looked emotional now that the cold had faded slightly. She felt sad. The glow of something wrapped around her as she spoke. I was free once. Then they captured me and sold me off to you. You raped me. It was the truth. Her truth. That is not the fucking truth, it's what you think. Her eyes met with his...
It is her truth.
It is her truth.
Her eyes met with his
You
as
can't handle the
the
truth.
smile turned sadder, his head shaking lightly. She was forced to speak as her mouth moved to speak. No, you don't say. You humans are so easy to kill. I was going to wait until you slept, after the blonde traitor had worn you out, but... The look in her eyes was sadder as... the look in his eyes was sadder as he looked at her with an expression of regret. So you were a damaged animal too. It was resignation as he looked at the blonde traitor, his expression oddly sweet. You love her? She spoke without thinking as his head turned to her once again, something in those eyes changing. There was a look. You don't fucking say! A certain air about those eyes as he looked down at her. I guess you were right, Juniper. They really are. The words were cool, restrained. Those eyes burned as the face twitched. That look of something else? Was that anger or sadness or frustration in his eyes? You can't tame an animal if it's been caught from the wild, Saffron. Or if you can't tame an animal if it's caught from the wild. Saffron. The sister looked up. Thanks you for the gift. It wasn't... Well, I didn't get much use out of her, but sometimes it's better to let her be free. There was a hope inside her as she admired the strangled sound. Master, one chance I ask, please. Forgive Blake. The last sentence was spoken in a language she did not speak. That's not how names work. He turned his head to Yang just so that she couldn't see his face. Nay, Yang, it is enough. The words made a little sense as he spoke with an emotionless tone. Pretty ashish, noya fonis, collab shalev, evaf bre freya. The lilac eyes of the traitor met hers. There was an understanding in them as she knew that she would be free soon. She would be free from the Ark rapists. Perhaps she could meet up with them again too. Oh, you stupid whore.
That's totally what they're talking about.
Alright, what did I miss?
Absolutely nothing except I spoke gibberish. Prite ashish, noya fanis skleb shale va befre. What, do you like how I can just speak that utter gibberish?
At least, if you're gonna do... I understand as a writer doing gibberish. Like, I honestly understand doing gibberish, but please, just take another language. Honestly, just take another fucking language, like manga always does, where they just take a random language from Google, like, I don't know.
German. Usually it's German.
German, like German, English,
Like
even
Elvish.
Swedish and Nordish.
Elvish and fucking J.R. Tolkien's literally French, just heavily butchered French.
Do it in Klingon. I don't fucking care.
Elves in Eldar and elves are literally just old Celtic.
Lock to Elok Necha.
Like
That means I
Drakari.
love you in Klingon.
Drakari is literally
Kapla!
like Drakari is literally the evil one.
Yep. Anyways, we should continue on, because this is fucking... We're getting stupid. It's so fucking stupid. Pay them back for all the humiliation she had suffered. She was a proud faunus. Take her away. Put her in a regular cell. I'll think about how to phase the proposal of freedom for the faunus. The words were calm as Blake was hauled up to her feet. The albino faunus looked at her with eyes that reminded her of her mother when she had been disappointed in her, but worse. There was more than anger that lurked within those eyes as the woman's gaze went to the man who had just decided to set her free before that gaze turned to her, intensifying in its depth of anger and disappointment. She was pushed towards the pen with the other faunus. She didn't speak. Somehow she felt tired and worn out, as if she'd spoken for hours. The albino didn't speak, only getting the briefest of nods by several of the other slaves, who continued with their tasks. She was pushed into the cell where she'd been locked in for a while, when Juniper had beaten the crap out of her, the albino faunus standing there for a moment. If I had a weapon, I would have stabbed you myself when we got into this cage, girl. The woman's
I'm just going to make a note here that later on we're shown that she has several guns underneath her dress, so she could have just shot her.
true. But she
And
couldn't
she
have
also
stabbed her. She couldn't have stabbed her. That's the problem. Oh.
Actually, I'm pretty sure one of the guns she has a bayonet on it. So, yeah. Every little hope you have, I just crushed. It's amazing.
The woman's voice was soft. The woman looked like she could have been a grandmother once or twice already. A look in the woman's... fuck. But the looks! A look in the woman's eyes that was colder than any look she'd been before!
A look in the eyes of a look of colder
Okay,
look.
Kitty. Drinking game. Every time that person says "look" in a sentence, you
Or
have to take a drink.
Or enough.
10% of the words in that sentence was look.
Again, I joke because, Christ, it's even bad when it's good.
Yeah.
Jesus
But
Christ, man.
When it's bad, it's really fucking bad.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
There is a common issue in language where people use stuff like. Like is a particle word, as it's used right now, like nige or eto for Chinese and Japanese, respectively. In this case, it's using fucking look constantly. There is more looks in this than there are likes.
And enoughs.
Too much look, too much enough. There's enough.
Again, the
There's
problem
enough
is...
It's also the thing of a writing trope. that Crimson Rogue had
Also,
taught me.
Captain, you're also using the also.
Yeah, I tend to do that when I'm talking. Anyway,
Yeah,
it
That's my
reminds
point.
me
That's
of.
the point. That's fine. When you're
it reminds
talking,
me.
When you're
in
talking.
It
writing,
reminds
that's
me
bad.
It reminds me of a writing trope that Crimson Rogue taught me when he was doing one of his readings, where he said, if you could substitute a word for any other word, use that other word instead of the same word over and over again.
Yeah.
Because it's just a chore to read.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I went through, like, yesterday when we were reading through mine. I kept on finding where I'd use the same word twice in a sentence or in a paragraph, and I was like, okay, I need to change this. I need to make
And
a
it
small
was like a
update.
chore to read if you constantly hear the same word in the sentence. Like, oh, this look in her eyes gave me a look of how look. It's just
boring.
fucking white noise. It's basically you stop focusing on like what's going on and you just go into La La Land as you autopilot read this.
It's so fucking boring. Anyways.
That's probably why this is so insulting when the texture of what's actually being said isn't so bad, but the act of reading it, God, is painful.
Reading it just sucks, but the actual content isn't even that bad. Like, you could say, okay, well, this is mediocre to subpar in terms of actual plot and content, but the fucking text itself is garbage! Anyways. Sister, we can ride. The crocodile faunus merely spat at her.
Albino crocodile faunus.
Freedom for the faunus. He signed your death warrant, girl. There's only freedom from slavery in death. I've seen a lot of things in many years of life on this world, but I have never seen the young Master Jean act like the master. You killed his heart and twisted the knife deep to rip out the rest of his organs, girl. The woman's voice was distant, cold, and without any sort of warmth, as if she was merely stating the facts of life. Giving a moment of explanation to her. He held out the hopes that you would see sense. I was his witness. I have had a hand in raising each of the master's children. I reared him for 7 years before the tutors came and educated him as a man of his standing should. The noble speech, the advanced economics. The woman was going somewhere, but Blake found herself merely there as a listener. The woman's gaze looked into hers.
Jeez, that sounds familiar.
Oh yeah, the look.
No, I was gonna say merely being there as a listener.
Oh yeah. The glow of aura around the woman suddenly appeared, and Blake realized that this woman had the strength of her soul to fight. If I can get her on my side. She was about to open her mouth, but the woman's hand laid on her shoulder. Are you happy with your revolution, Blake Belladonna? She was forced to speak. With your power, we can cut them. The revolution will be Gloria. The woman's knee met her face, her nose throbbing in pain. Blake didn't understand. You broke the kindest, sweetest human boy I know. You silly little girl. Don't you realize that he feels pain when he sees you? I curse you and your lineage. You. The utter sadness and impotent anger in that woman's voice was thick as Blake's head hit the ground. I held him when he was young. I taught him that there were good faunas around, and that there wasn't much of a difference. But you. There was a despairing laugh that came from the woman's mouth. You're lucky if you see the end of the day alive. We're all lucky if the kingdom of Vale has faunas left after the Master Ark hears of how you hurt his son. She didn't understand. Why? The crocodile's tears leaked from her eyes as he tail slowly batted back and forth. Don't you understand? You. The woman's face showed grief and regret. You broke the youngest brother of the Faunus Management Commission's heart. You got your dream of revolution, girl. It was a shuddering exhale as the woman's body shook, tears leaking from her eyes. You successfully caused the genocide of the Faunus in Vale. And the rest of our kind would be very lucky if Atlas and Mistral didn't follow us through.
I wish.
You don't know what you have done.
Fucking wish.
And she's still going on with it.
Yep.
She doesn't understand. We should rise up and fight. We should. She stopped, realizing that there were more people around. They looked at her with eyes. No, you don't say it. They're gonna look at her with their ears. Looked at her with eyes, several of them already crying.
They looked at her with eyes. You know, instead of looking at her with their ears.
Or their teeth, or their left breast. Is it true? Did she? Someone asked, a young voice. Ash gave a nod. Is that what you wanted, you crazy bitch? The axe won't stop at just culling all of us. Auburn at least takes only one. We all had a life, and you, it's all thanks to you. Why did you even think that talking back to the young master would work? Your head would have been faster off your spine if you'd met the master of the house. You've obviously never met Mistress Azalea. Another voice joined, a chorus of assent. They were angry. Perhaps she could use this. Anger could spark revolution. Adam said, the tiger calls for us. With the desert our guang, our wills were broken, but we can still fight. The white Fang fights for the tiger. The revolutionary call was strong in her mind. They would see the light. They would join her. She just had to have hope. What use is the tiger? What use is the ways of old? Don't you get it? The tiger would be happy if she's made into a gilded toy for one of the owners. Blake couldn't see it happening. The pride in Sienna Khan's eyes was unbreakable as she spoke full of fury and will at the rallies in the far-flung villages. Miss Ash, do you think you could talk to the young master? Someone asked, and Blake felt a stab of something go through her. I don't want to die. Someone muttered as their looks on her continued. If we can offer him our head, maybe we should. Maybe that would. Wait, we can offer him her head. Maybe that would. Nobody touches her. The crocodile faunus said that with some measure of authority as she fixed Blake with a single look of disgust as opposed to multiple looks of disgust. Blake felt as if she'd been chastised by Sienna having messed up something critically important to the mission. I will speak with the young master. She is to be cleaned up and made presentable. If the young doe holds the master's ear. Blake knew that the traitor would be hopping on that filthy cock either way. She would have been just the same if it was different. He was not unkind. You are contemptible, Blake Belladonna. I'd thought that my message would have been preferable, but it seems I was wrong. The crocodile faunus' eyes were distant, and Blake realized that the rhinoceros faunus that had been the woman's emissary to teach her of her place in the world... And the rhinoceros faunus had been the woman's emissary to teach her of their place in the world. Anger spiked in her as her mouth opened to hiss a curse at her. May your bloodline never propagate. You were born wrong. You never should have... The woman's head turned to her. There was something in those eyes that made her voice trail off, her body shuddering as those eyes narrowed at her. There would be no children from my womb, ignorant child. My line ends with me. Be blessed in the knowledge that there will be no more children to bear my curse. She didn't know why, but she felt a pang of sadness well up inside her.
You could make that an actual, like, interesting, good scene or whatever of, like, intimidation if it wasn't written like shit.
Yes.
I could see somehow in an alternate universe how that scene could, like, be good.
I just drank an entire, like, see how much this is.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God, no.
36 ounces of, Jack Daniels.
Oh, no. Cap, you're pulling a me right now, man. You're
No,
not...
I can actually remain coherent. Speak. Not
And-
immediately lose my shit.
I don't think
Reminder
Cap is
that I'm
gonna
not a fucking featherweight like you.
Yeah, you're a fucking featherweight. The rest of us can hold our liquor. Probably a
Yeah.
bit too well, honestly.
Alright, what were you saying the last 2 minutes? My ping's been at like 5,000.
Blake kept on calling for evolution, and
Oh wait, one
it
sec.
pissed everyone off, and everyone thinks they're gonna die. Because they're probably
Did you
gonna
get-
die.
Alright. So everybody's gonna die. I got that. Anything else?
Blake cemented that everyone hates her, and for good fucking reason.
And the albino crocodile lady's apparently a gilf who can't have kids anymore, and she used that to intimidate
she's
Blake
barren.
somehow.
She's
Yeah.
barren, yeah. And
Oh,
she
that's
is-
the fucking plot twist?
No, that's not a
No,
plot
the
twist.
thing that Blake says is like, I hope you never breed. And she just turns around and is like, I can't.
Oof.
And that's the end of the chunk. I can't even call
Oh,
it a
that's not the end
chapter.
of the chapter?
No!
No.
These chapters go on for fucking ever.
I mean, I guess that makes sense because she's writing by the 1,000th word, but fuck!
Well, like,
Hey, when are you gonna publish your paid work? Yes, please. Squeeze the money out of these fuckers.
I have to figure out... I have to find time to do it. I'm getting a good pace on my book going right now, like 10 pages a day, which is really good. And like,
I mean,
you've read
Stephen
what
King. Yeah, Stephen King does like 5 and his fucking awful, so...
Yeah, but I send you what I write, and
Yeah.
you're the judge for that and quality.
It's good.
Yeah, at least better than Stephen King or this garbage.
Stop lowering yourself to that level.
But
Honestly, that's an insult to what you've written. That's like coming from a biased friend. Well, it is, but you get what I mean.
yeah. But I also trust you to be objective with it, as much as possible. But still, like, this is ridiculous. I could totally write something better than this. The problem is I hate Ruby and I don't want to write fanfiction for it.
Good.
I
Like,
should.
just-
I have an in
Actually-
progress thing. I have like 2,000 words down for it. Just
Alright, Curia. Tomorrow, we're gonna do the anime thing, right? So, Kitty. Actually, Curia, what would you prefer? We go through SAO or we go through Ruby?
well, we're pretty much already done with SAO. I'd rather go through Ruby, especially if Kitty's there.
Yeah, we can do a few seasons of Ruby, then heal with Shimoneta.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good equalizer. Alright, that's a plan. Anyway, let's get back to the white broken fang.
And we gotta
Because
start it.
it-
We got to start at volume 1, so at least it won't be as painful as volumes
Yeah.
4 through.
I'm not
7.
gonna lie, instead of healing with Shimonetta, I'd rather watch Ed and Eddie, because that was my cartoon that I used to watch when I was a kid that made me happy.
Yeah, but my childhood was fucking Death Note, so
I
My
That was my childhood
No wonder why
cartoon.
you're such an edgy faggot.
I mean, I could have been
Uh,
watching Naruto.
But anyway, yeah, I would personally heal with Ed, Ed, and Eddie because that's my shit right
Yeah,
there.
but I'm not gonna
I
fucking
Fucking
mean, my
find it.
childhood was Silver Fang, and I don't know if you know this, but Silver Fang was 18 and up. Like, it was hardcore gore.
I don't even remember what Silver Fang was.
I'll post some in chat.
I'll look later. As I have to continue this garbage.
Fair enough.
As the door shut, he broke. He took a few steps towards the bed, collapsing onto it. He lay there for a short while, curling up into a ball. He'd failed. She hadn't come to like him, as Cammy had said. She'd wanted freedom. I don't want to kill my first pet, but
I don't want to kill my dog, but
I don't want to put her down.
He's like
but
the inverse. He's like the inverse of John Wick. Instead of going on a rampage to save his dog, he just like clones his dog so he can murder it every day.
He could feel Yang nuzzle against him, her lips kissing his neck. He allowed her to as he shuddered, the tears coming faster. It's going to be okay, master. Her voice was light, warm. Her body was warm. As she laid against him, he could see Saffron look at the two of them, her expression as neutral as she could make it. Do we call every fondness? The question was posed by Juniper, who was by far the more logically minded one at this time. Camellia has the form of a kingdom-wide purge in her desk over there. Over here, with your seal below it. The problem with that was that it would drastically increase labor costs. They were animals, so they could be replenished easily. After all, you could just breed them together and a new slave would pop out in 6 to 9 months. Fast.
I guess depending on what type of faunus you are, I don't know.
is that one of their traits? It's just they breed really fast.
Quick pregnancy.
Remember what they said about the rabbit faunus?
They pop out
Actually,
fast.
Did they actually mention that in the show? Did they?
No.
No?
There's
There
No, because then
there's no
because
internal traits. The best we get is like Blake really likes lasers.
yeah, and
she also
it
likes
was all.
fish.
It would also imply that fucking Velvet's just getting a train run on her all the time because she's always fucking horny.
That could be a show in and of itself. It's just Velvet's constantly horny, and everybody has to go, no, you're a school student. Please go away.
Please, woman, we need to focus on class. Oh, the poor boys are traumatized and they actively choose to be gay by the time they're finished school because all the rabbits are too horny.
No,
Oh,
I'm not
that'd be
gonna
funny.
lie, I'd be banging every single one of them.
Yeah, of course you would. You have low standards.
No, Velvet's pretty attractive. For a
Yeah, but
rabbit.
she's a rabbit.
She's a rabbit woman. Yeah.
That's the problem. She's a fucking rabbit. She'd have
I
8
have the
kids, and
stamina.
then
I could deal.
she would have 8 kids, and then a month later it'd be like, hey, you want another 8? You want another
Yeah.
12? You want another
I'd
50?
I'd still smash that. I'm just saying.
Kitty, you
Yeah.
did the
See,
same
me and
thing.
Courier, no. Me and Courier.
I did the same thing, but I wouldn't just do it over and over again to produce more and then be the deadbeat dad.
No, I wouldn't do
No,
that either.
what you
It's
have to
called
do-
using protection.
Yeah, using protection and stuff, or just put it.
She
in your
just
ass.
poke a hole in it.
See,
That's
what
what
you
you watch
do-
her very carefully.
yeah, you
Again,
use
Kitty,
protection.
you're just
Protection.
giving up on the fact that your kids spread like fucking Genghis Khan, just offspring everywhere.
Yeah, you gotta use protection.
Listen,
or you put it in
Romulus
your
is
ass.
strong as Genghis Khan, but he has standards of conduct, okay?
Fair enough.
His comments is powerful, but he has standards of conduct, and who will fuck? Half the galaxy will have Romulus's genetics by the end of it. Boy. Okay, let's continue on. The problem with that was that it would drastically increase the labor costs. They were animals, so they could be replenished easily. After all, you just bred them together and a new slave would pop out in 9 to 6 months. Often there were multiple children too, so labor force would be a little low, but it would offer an opportunity for the human workers of the kingdom. It could be an incentive for a stronger humanity. Oh my god!
I just kind of had
The
a
damn
brain
faunas are
fart for
taking
a
her.
second.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I
no.
had a brain fart for a second there. What
I
the
hope
fuck
that
is
wasn't
going
just
on now?
me. What the fuck's going on?
The damn faunas are taking people's jobs. If we kill all the faunas, then people will have more jobs. It means the economic output will be improved. We'll be able to build the
No.
economy much faster.
No, it
My
wouldn't.
name is Donald J. Trump. We're gonna build a wall.
No. Killing off all of the workforce, that just means that all the people that were already lazy and basically coasting off of cheap labor for their lifestyle would be forced to work themselves. They would fucking hate that.
I think that's the point. It would force those people into jobs, and it would force jobs to be more profitable.
Well, you need to
Yeah,
get a better
but then
internet connection
but
to handle
the
these shit.
people would fucking
Hey.
despise that entire thing because they're having to work jobs they could have just paid a faunus like a nickel or something to do themselves and just sit back and grow fat.
Listen, Courier, I have some of the best. I have the best Xbox known to man, but no, I should have the best net. But I think Reno has the same problem where it's just Discord will randomly send my MS to just skyrocket, and then I need to log out Discord, log back in, because I did just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6.5 hours of no issues, and then suddenly, oh yeah, every time I go over here, issues.
It could also be that I'm hosting in a different location.
Might be.
But, what is it? People don't generally like having a sedentary lifestyle. That's the thing, Cap. People want to work. And you're ironically going to have more social tension in societies where people don't work, and even though they want to work, but they can't, because there's no jobs.
That reminds... Hey, that's just like my Japanese anime, Kin no Tabi. One of the episodes is very... Alright, we have machines that can do the work for us, but we like to work. We even commit suicide occasionally, but it's better to have a society that works even if it's unnecessary than it is for a society that doesn't work, because that, excuse the pun, doesn't work.
Like, the problem
But
with
it's also,
automation
but it's also
isn't
a feudal
necessarily...
society.
No,
It's
it
also a
isn't.
feudal society.
No, it isn't.
No, it's
They
not.
function
They
feudalistically.
have guns.
In
They
terms
have tanks.
in terms of society, like social structure, yes, but in terms of technology, like locations, all that stuff, it's like modern day.
Yeah,
So-
but they still have like nobility class and stuff because they would also be
Again,
forced to pick up
that's
the
a
slack
society thing. Society. That's a society thing, not a
Here's the thing.
technology thing.
Technology.
Noble
thing.
classes, nobles still do work. They don't just sit and get fat. They do clerical work. They do intellectual work, not physical work.
Management stuff, like they say. Management
That's-
of whatever bureau.
They are the management class. And that's the thing with automation. You can't have everybody just be managers. You can't have everybody just doing intellectual tasks. Not everybody is smart enough to do that. And not everybody is well suited to it either. You need people to be doing physical tasks because they just have aptitude for them that they don't have towards something like a clerical task or filling out forms or bureaucracy or any of that. There's a lot of people who just don't understand politics and how politics works. They can't function in a politicized environment where it's all interpersonal politics going on. That's why automation is such a danger to our society. Yes, you can go and automate a lot of simple jobs, but you still need a lot of simple jobs for the people who can't fill out intellectual jobs. Who can't just do what I do and wake up and make something all day.
Yep. Anyway, let's continue and get
that
this.
into talking about yourself.
Yeah, let's continue and get this shit done because I actually want to go to bed.
No, you don't.
No,
Yeah,
you
you
don't.
never go
Stay
to
up
bed.
late anyway.
No, I've been awake for kind of a long time.
Anyways,
I wasn't able to sleep well last night, so I've been awake pretty much like all night and all of this morning.
Wait,
Cap,
Cap's
I've-
getting into a proper sleep schedule? Holy shit, this is
Cap-
revelation.
Cap, I've just randomly texted you at like 1 o'clock in the morning, just like pouring before, and you've responded within like 5 minutes. So
Yes.
Don't start that shit with me.
anyways,
Yeah,
we
because
should
the fucking
continue.
thing that I have for that
Shush,
is a
we
loud
need to
ping noise in case-
continue. We need to continue, and I will continue regardless of what you start speaking of now. You damn
do,
horny
do,
motherfuckers.
Nigger.
God damn it, you're gonna get me banned.
I love all of you.
Fuck.
I
Ah,
hate you all.
I love you, Massa.
Master.
motherfuckers. But I don't want to. It would show strength to the general populace. The Ark family was strong. They had the will to do something like that against the Faunus menace, but he knew that. A whimper came from his lips as Yang kissed his earlobe. She was such a good girl, such a wonderful girl. She was a Faunus. She was lesser than he was. Master, please, can you give her a last chance? I won't ask for anything more ever. Yang pleaded for the girl's life, possibly because she saw that he was hurting. She was an animal, but she was his. She made him feel happy, while Blake just frustrated him. If I had you before I had Blake. Things might be different. Blake was beautiful, but so willful. She held that mystique and that flame inside her, that brash bluntness that told him exactly how she felt. Ash had told him that girl might be a little willful at the start, so he'd ignored it, but Blake wasn't a good pet. Yang was willing to learn how to read and how to speak. Manners. She would have been such a wonderful partner on the dance floor, too, he'd imagine. An easy laugh, warm eyes and blonde hair, perhaps a scandalous dress, but her fondest trait. Master Jean, please. He turned to face Yang, sighing deeply as he looked at her. Jean, Saffron spoke, one of the first times since they'd started this impromptu tribunal. Can't we spare the girl? He heard Juniper make a surprised sound, but he supposed that Saffron felt responsible. Your pet requests that she be spared, so... Saffron's tone was a little scratchy. Apparently, she'd sang a little much. Saffron loved her opera. For hours on end.
Hours on end, yeah.
What?
The few screams that had leaked from her room at times were a bit of a bother, but she was just playing with her pets.
Just casually throw it out there. Isn't this just delicious world building?
Delicious. Tastes like it ages like milk, like fine milk.
It ages
No,
like the spoiled, or it ages like the smeared smegma drawn from a 12,000-year-old corpse.
Yeah. Couldn't describe it better.
It ages like the what now?
Like the spoiled smegma of a 10,000-year-old corpse.
Jesus fucking Christ, Kitty, I didn't really need to hear that.
Alright, we gotta be immortalized now.
Spoiled smegma of a 12,000-year-old corpse.
Beautiful, beautiful.
She enjoyed playing with her pets. I'll think about it. In one way, she had not said that she hated him. That had been a surprise. She'll be back soon. If only Blake knew her place like Yang does. The pretty blonde Faunus smiled at him as he looked at her smiling face. I never want you to feel sad, Master. He could believe her words. Her eyes smiled at him, her gaze light like a feather. She felt she was warm like a sunny day. I really curse that fate that made you born as a Faunus, Yang. She might have been a way out of this situation with Cinder. Should her standing have been sufficient. Now he'd have to take a sledgehammer to the way of propriety.
Sledgehammer propriety.
To the way of
Sledgehammer to
propriety and do
propriety.
something anathema to the social etiquette. It was not done, especially
Oh
with
wow!
the age
Somebody
issue.
used a big word. Somebody used a big word. I'm so proud of you.
I was just surprised at the fucking attempt. Oh
The
boy.
sledgehammer of propriety.
But
Well,
then we
as
know this
that-
person is basically just shorthand. I can't write for shit, so I'm going to use big words to make myself sound big galaxy brain.
Well, dude,
Again,
look,
Oh,
I'm just gonna
yeah.
say they use enough and looks so freaking much. Anytime they use another word that's not enough or looks, I'm like, I'm so proud of you.
You're so wonderful. You're almost not retarded. Just almost.
See, it's like watching a retarded child trying to put a square peg into a round hole. You know you probably should try to help the child out because you know it's never going to solve that problem by itself. It's just so
Can't help
fucking
but look at
pathetic.
it.
You can't even look at it. It just fills you with pity and sadness.
Courier,
Look at it and-
Oh,
anytime that a
That
more
should have been
complex word,
aborted.
anytime a more complex word shows up, Courier's just like, oh yeah, it's so great. Oh, I'm so thankful.
Oh, I'm thankful they're not using looker enough again. God damn it.
Yes, and the very masturbatory slap noise. That's also fitting.
Yep.
Isn't that right, Courier?
I
Oh,
hate
it's
all
so.
of you. I'm gonna be making you all watch Ruby tomorrow though, so I get my vengeance in the end. That's fine.
Just get those links loaded up so we don't have to watch them on the site itself. Jesus Christ.
Oh yes, please,
You mean
God.
on fucking Rooster? Yeah, no. That ain't-
Yeah, no.
Fuck that.
We're
the-
not
with
going
them
fucking Rooster Teeth.
With them interrupting me with ads every 5 seconds, yeah.
It was not done, especially with the age issue. Yeah, it's for the best. Ruby. She's my best friend, and I'll make her obey. Trust me. He felt like he could. She seemed sincere in her words. Wait, no, that was her. I'll make her obey. Trust me. She felt like she could. She seemed sincere in her words. A knock on the door and a faint shuffling as Juniper walked to the door to open it. No, you don't say. And he looked up. Ash walked towards him, her uniform still unstained as it had always been. The more covering form made her look like an older maid, yet there was warmth in her eyes that had always been there. May I have a moment of your time, Master Jean? In private. He could see Juniper and Saffron look a little uneasy. Juniper mostly seemed to be nervous, as they all knew that Ash had been one of the few Faunus with their aura unlocked. Of course, Ash. He couldn't deny the woman her request. She had been there when his mother had been too busy to read him stories. She had been there when his father had been out on the expeditions, when he had been getting the political side of the world taken care of. Yang looked nervously at him as she departed, as he got himself better situated on the bed. His old nursemaid sat there on the bed, making a motion with her hands towards his lap. Her tail was laid out over the bed, but he didn't mind it. Lay your head down, my little yellow death. The nickname was something that had come from him being an excitable child and accidentally... accidentally wetting himself all over her. What is this kid, a fucking puppy? An embarrassed sound emerging from his mouth as it laid his head down on the woman's lap. His mouth laid his head down on the woman's lap. Are you going to sign the order to give us all freedom? He closed his eyes, as his mouth spoke freely. Ash had explained about her semblance when he had asked once how she always managed to ferret the truth out of him, and he let it happen. I don't know if I can. He felt the semblance cut off as she ran fingers through his hair. His head brushed against her stomach as the woman shushed him gently, like he was her child. You are such a sweet boy, my little yellow death. He sighed softly as he felt the touch of her finger over his ear. Though a woman who had been constant in his life ever since he had been born, she explained to him about her status as a slave and how the world worked. It was normal. His tutors had told to think of a Faunus as mere servants and animals. It was their right to be above Faunus. They lost the revolution that had been brought to heal. Ash did not deny it. She had been careful around him. Mother tolerated her, though it was his father who had greater affinity with the albino fauna. I wonder why. And your little dear? How do you feel about her? It was an odd question. He smiled softly through the tears as he sighed deeply. The semblance didn't need to be activated as he spoke. I want her to be human. Ash froze up. It was dangerous to speak like this, but this was Ash, the woman who had raised him, until the teachers had done so. She had always had time for something sweet, for a moment where he could hug her. He paused as he looked away. Blake's face came to his mind once more as he saw an image of her and his Yang standing together, their collars leashed and their eyes smiling. I want my pets to be happy, Ash. You told me about how happy a slave can be when they're well cared for. He had calmed down thanks to Ash's presence. The older woman sighed as she rubbed her hand over the base of his neck. You are too kind, Jean. She was the only Faunus who was allowed to call him by name without a formal title from the house slaves. The right as his wet nurse did not extend to that, but he had insisted. The woman who had given him her care and attention for most of his early youth, but there was no divide. Every single one of his sisters had respect for Ash. The woman had been their caretaker as well. Auburn took note to avoid Ash, which was rare for a sister to do. She was more than just a Faunus. Maybe... Maybe... No. Nein, you are. My little yellow death has been hurt, and he still thinks about his pets, even if they misbehave. He laughed with a little humor in the laugh. Yes, where the humor is going to be other than the laugh that you're talking about.
He laughed with little humor in it, or there was little humor in his laugh. There you go.
He laughed dryly, little in the way of humor permeating through. Like, there's so many ways you could pump up the word count without just saying, he laughed with a low humor laughter. Like, fuck!
Fuck!
As he laughed. It was true. Willful Blake and the spirited and warm Yang. They were like the moon and the sun, contrasting in their passion.
Does the moon constantly want to murder you?
Does the moon whine? I mean, the moon is classically depicted as female, so probably.
Is the moon a worthless piece of shit that you just want to bash its brains all over the floor?
Yes. I am so proud of you, my dear. I am so proud of the wonderful boy that grew up to become a man. He sighed as he looked upwards, the woman's eyes a little misty, as a question rose to his mind. The tiger. Why exactly would she hold such an allegiance to a Faunus like that? I'd heard they are relics of a foregone time, but... The look in Ash's eyes was warm as she brushed her hand through his hair. The right of the four. The woman seemed to think for a moment before she turned her gaze away, a moment as she inhaled deeply. The tiger and the ox speak for the people. They hold within them a spot within the hierarchy of us Faunus. The words we listen to, because it is their right to speak for us. And would you listen to them, Ash? The bitter smile on her lips was a sign of her feelings at this moment as the woman looked down at him with a tender look. No, it's gonna be a tender fist. She seemed to contemplate something for an instant before asking a question. How old do you think I am, Jean? The question took him for a jaunt. There was, of course, something to be said about her age, but... Mom's age? 50? A soft laugh as the woman smiled. It was the smile of kindness that he remembered as her father brushed over his hair. It was a tender look as his eyes met hers. Silly boy. If I ever could have had a son, he would be like you. There was a wistfulness in her voice as she stroked through his hair once again. Jean, on this day, nearly 31 years ago, I watched the noble Ao Gong's head roll thanks to your grandfather's skill at warfare, after the battle had been finished. My brother's head rolled a minute afterwards, and I was bequeathed upon your family to serve, formally. So, she's older than 40. That would make sense. That would make sense. The woman's face was amused as she motioned for him to get up. Many people do not remember the time when Mistel invaded. Your great-grandfather fought bravely. We had an acquaintance during that time. The woman paused for a moment. He was a great man. Noble, kind, perhaps a touch like you. If I had not been rendered sterile through this accursed fate of being born, I would perhaps... The woman looked wistful as she looked at him with a look that a proud grandmother would give him. If she knew great-grandfather, that would put her at 100? Wait. I am 177 years old. That took him by surprise, and it showed on his face. The smile on Ash's face did not change. Her eyes gently as her tail curled at his face.
Because she's not actually a crocodile, she's a fucking turtle, and get it? Turtles live a long time. Kill me.
You can pull one of the scales out. The words were strange as he touched the tail. The woman shuddered as he seized one of the bony growths, feeling the metal that it truly was, painted to look like bone. It had been embedded into the flesh, giving the tail the appearance of a crocodile's. Does it hurt? He asked, the woman shaking her head. He tugged it loose, looking at the metal, and then pushed it back in. The woman's eyes closed as he pushed it back into place. What are you? If you're not a crocodile, then... He wasn't sure now. What was she hiding? The soft exhale from the woman as she stood up straighter, her eyes looking into his own, red eyes, a trait through her albinism he had been taught by his biology tutor, looking at him, a closing of them, before forest green eyes stared at him, looking right into his own. Aose, daughter of Ao, the tortoise. Near on 90 years, your father and I fought together for this patch of land. After the war was done, I swore upon my honor to ensure that his family would always be cared for. The woman paused as she looked at him with eyes that showed trust and faith. There was no doubt in those eyes that he would talk about her, or that he would betray her. He wasn't even sure if he ever could. She was Ash. He'd been his caretaker for so long. Hell, even father had been nothing but warm about the woman, though that might have been due to her hand in raising him. Father leaned more towards that side that would rather use the fondness. Yet... Your great-grandfather was a friend. Your grandfather was a child I helped raise into a fine young man. Your father was like a dream to care for, as were your sisters. I've nursed you with some milk from my bosom, and I see within you the same young man who spoke to me about his dreams to make the world a safer place for all people. The words were neither elegant nor were they brusque. The woman had spoken no lie he could see, nor had she been secretive about her heritage. You're just Ash to me. No matter what, you're someone I'd never want to hurt. The woman looked at him and gave his forehead a light rub. She was more than just an animal. Do you want me to deal with your incorrigible girl? The question came, and he knew that Ash would be strict with Blake. I can make it quick and painless. I don't want you to kill her. He sighed as he looked away from her. Ow! He felt her hug him. It was not a gesture that could be seen publicly. A faunus hugging her human owner in order to comfort it was as if a horse decided to shit all over one's fine clothes. What? I do not understand that fucking comparison. I do not understand it at all. Oh boy.
I just don't even know what's going on anymore. It's
Stupid.
basically, no offense to you, Kitty, it's not you, it's the story. But as you're reading this, all I'm starting to hear is wah 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 wah, and I'm like, okay. It was already
It just fucking
annoyance to read through it the
described
first
someone
time.
hugging him as his clothes being shit on. And it was... I don't understand it. I don't understand where they're trying to go with this. Anyways, Jean.
Are they trying to make the comparison that hugging a faunus, like, in society is viewed as, like, having your clothes shit on?
I don't know, it's so stupid. Jean, take it from me. She will cause trouble. The tiger and ox have their claws in her, and I don't want to see you hurt.
No shit.
Ash had a point, but... you've told me once, a long time ago, that a faunus was to serve our human betters. That servitude was better than death. It was a conversation that had taken place 12 years ago. Ash, as a faunus, had to keep a respectable distance from him, but she had cared for his questions and answered them. Anastasia was not a good girl. The bitter smile on Ash's face didn't change, but Blake, I can feel that she's... The woman sighed as she nodded her head. She loves her people. We lost the war, indeed, but my little yellow deaths. What would you do with a slave who cannot even muster the posture of one who is owned? He looked at the second mother he had, Ash giving him a look that questioned as he deliberated. I'll make her see who the master is. Sometimes he had to be the man of the household. Ash smiled as he said so, touching his shoulder. That is how a man should be. Decisive, yet not unkind. A strong back for a woman to hide behind, as well as the strength to cut the knot. He looked away, blushing. His emotions were empty, but he knew that Ash was there, and that she would care for him. She was a faunus, but it was so hard to see her as one. She had been the mother that had soothed him, the woman who had rocked him after he had a bad dream, the one who had went over the exercises with him when his tutors had come with homework. She was basically his real mom.
Pretty much, because his other mom was never there.
Yeah, because apparently she was so fucking doing stupid shit to not even look after her kids in, like, the most fucking token effort.
I mean, you'd be surprised at how often that happened with noble households, but...
Yeah, you'd think at some point the fucking kids would just associate the fucking ones who were taking care of them as their real parents.
You mean like
It'd be
they
like-
do in real life?
Yeah, it'd be like, oh yeah, the fucking Ash is my mom. What the fuck you talking about this bitch? I never seen this bitch in my life.
Anyways, Blake would do better, or she'd be cast aside. The man did not shirk away from the duties. Yang did ask for another chance.
Yeah, duties.
Yeah, duty.
Duties.
As they stood outside the door leading to her master's room, Yang felt the mood change. Juniper's face darkened as she hit the wall, a frustrated groan coming from her lips. Yang could see the look on her face as she turned to her sister. I hate it. Yes. Saffron's voice was still soft as she looked at her older sister, an expression of conflicted emotions on her face. It's... Mongrel. You have no idea how good you've got it. There was softness to the woman's voice as Yang watched those sharp blue eyes regard her with an expression that was akin to murder, a gritting of the teeth, an expression on her face that made Yang feel fear. If it had been you. Yang shrank back as the woman got up in her face, the barrel of the gun pointing right at her heart, pressing against the skin, the woman aiming without even having to look down. You'd be dead. She was abjectly aware, and she looked at Saffron. One word from the woman could spell her demise. One single word, and perhaps a sentence. She wet herself again, the fear shooting through her. She was going to die, and there was nothing that she could do, nothing that she could say. Her body collapsed, her knees spread slightly as she sat in the puddle, fearful eyes looking up at the mistress. Saffron Ark's gaze met hers before her gaze slid away. Please, she isn't to blame. Juniper Ark's face barely changed as she looked away. Considering that you've got the favor of 2 of my siblings. The woman pulled away, her rifle pushed back into the loop. The woman hit the wall again. I'm going out. Tell Argent that I'm going to be home late. Fuck. Saffron Ark looked at her with eyes, waiting until the footsteps had drawn away from them, looking at her with an expression that seemed torn.
He looked at her with eyes. At least put something there. I can assume she's looking at her with eyes. If
I
you're
don't
gonna
know how else she's going to look at the woman, if not with her eyes.
Otherwise, say she looked at her with eyes full of contempt or something.
With contemptuous eyes.
Also, here you go. This summary. Entire thing.
With dead eyes, which I have. Right now.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Lol, I'm gonna repost what you just DM'd me in VC chat here. You saved me by mongrel. Oh boy. Oh,
You can
boy.
fuck real good.
Anyways, let's continue on. With eyes and the footsteps had drawn away from them, looking at her with an expression that seemed torn, Yang breathed in softly before she breathed out, trying to formulate words. She could plead with the woman for an exemption from execution, even if... Saffron Ark came closer, the pale green dress that she wore looking richer than anything that she'd ever seen the woman wear. Come with me, mongrel. The hesitation in that voice as she watched the woman's eyes look at her for a moment before gazing away. Yang bowed as it was proper before following after the woman. Jean would be okay with the older crocodile faunus woman, she supposed, if Ash had been there to hurt him. She was led into the room, spotting Terra seated there in the cot, quietly resting. It was oddly sweet to see that dog bowl having been filled with water. The woman looking at the sudden entrance, getting up and bowing before her mistress. Mistress Saffron? The woman looked at her pet before motioning to the door. Out you go, Terra. I'd like some sweet tea to be brought into the room. In, say, 30 minutes. More confidence was in the voice as Yang saw the sister of the man who owned her collar. As you wish, Mistress Saffron. The faunus gave her a look of perhaps faint understanding as the door closed behind the faunus. The woman walked to the dresser, opening it up and throwing a look at her. Sit. There was a stutter, a hint of nervousness. Yang sat down on the bed, watching the woman, waiting for the orders that would come, the woman's eyes looking away from her again. Is she thinking about how to hurt me?
Probably. I know I am.
Fucking hopefully.
I'm thinking of so many creative ideas right now. It's amazing.
Listen, a little bit of rape doesn't hurt anybody. She was only slightly raped.
You ever wanted to hold somebody down and like nuke their town in front of them, like a 50 megaton nuke? That's how I feel right now. I wanna fucking do the Darth Vader thing, except with all of Menagerie right now.
You mean where you get, surprise attacked by a new character from behind and then runs away as you reach out a hand going, no, don't go.
No, as I would strap Blake and a bunch of other people I hate down and watch as I drop a 50 megaton nuke over frickin' Menagerie's capital.
Mhm.
I can watch it burn in nuclear hellfire.
Or we can just continue this crappy fucking fan fiction.
I know. I'm creating something better and more interesting than what we're reading.
How much
She-
longer do we got to go, to be honest?
Like a third of the page.
Okay, sweet.
Okay. I can make it.
She expected something as the woman looked at her, pulling a dress out of the dresser and holding it out. Wear this. The fabric was soft in the hands of the woman as Yang took it. It was a light yellow dress, faintly accented with something that might be jewels, but Yang wasn't sure. She laid it on the bed before stripping slowly, aware of the woman, tensing up and catching a broody expression on the woman's face as the dress went over her head, having to ensure that her antlers did not harm. It was hard as she fit her head through, feeling the skin be wrapped by the dress. The look on her face in the mirror was surprised as Saffron looked at her and got closer. A hand brushed the creases out of the dress, only the woman's steps soft as she could hear the woman's breathing grow louder. Fingers slid over her flesh, the touch disgusting, but the woman only touched. It looks decent. Yang thought it looked looked really pretty. I've almost said pretty. Which would be even worse than this is normally. Dresses had been something that she'd worn a few times before she got too old for them. Too old for them? What?
Huh?
Feeling the touch of the silken fabric against her skin was a delight as she looked at the woman. The kiss didn't surprise her much as Saffron's tongue invaded her mouth, her hands wrapped around the woman, a shudder coming through the body of the woman as a low pant came from her lips. Wear that when you go to my brother. Wear that when you go to my little brother. There was a pause, her gaze turned to the side. He'd like it, probably. A weary smile. Now let me find this fucking shit that I dropped. I dropped something. I dropped dice. I dropped dice.
Sound of Kitty dying.
Oh, yes.
Flat out dying.
A watery smile as Saffron turned away, looking at the bed. I'll forgive you for your yesterday. Make my little brother happy. The relief was enough as Yang felt herself grow a little more at ease, knowing that Saffron Arc wouldn't be sending her crazy sister at her. She turned around, admiring her fine rump, her eyes catching sight of how the back looked. You can go. Saffron
I think it's also kind of funny too, because canonically, if you're looking at the character models, Yang doesn't really have that much of an ass.
Yeah,
She's
she
more
No.
of a has big
Negative
tits kind of
ass.
girl.
Blake has big, fucking Blake. Yang has big tits. Blake apparently has an ass or something. Fucking Weiss is flat-chested, and then Ruby is a fucking midget
Tomboy.
or something. Tomboy. There you go. Midget.
Saffron said as she looked at her, I will let Tara wash the uniform. There was a faint hint of something in her voice as she sprayed some perfume. Yang was distinctly aware that she smelled of urine after having lost control over her muscles. Perfume doesn't hide that, you stupid whore.
Maybe go take a shower.
What does perfume not hide?
Piss.
Urine.
What the fuck? Piss is such a strong odor.
Uh-huh.
You can't hide that with perfume.
Especially if you think if someone's a cat faunus, you think their piss smells worse, probably.
Probably.
You'd
If
probably
just a little-
able
just
to
a little.
tell. You'd
Well,
just-
I was gonna say, in reality, piss shouldn't smell like anything. Like stale, like a fresh piss or whatever is a whatever you call it. It's a fucking, what's the word?
No, it'll smell like ammonia.
A little. Well, that's depending on how much water you've had to drink. If your piss is like really diluted, it won't smell like that. So.
Anyways, we should continue on instead of talking about the physics of urine. And
The physics
chemistry
of
of urine. But,
Reminder that one line in this was Yang going, "If he wants to piss on me, golden shower time, baby."
Remember.
Anyways, let me fucking keep going. Almost done. I should have went to the bathroom before. Good morning, Mr. Saffron. She bid the woman who turned her gaze away. Just go. The woman spoke, her voice pained. Make my brother happier. and so Yang went, knocking on the door and being greeted by the crocodile Faunus, who looked over her once and then nodded, stepping aside. Master Jean, your good pet has come. She looked at the woman whose eyes were sharp and fierce like a predatory animal should. She was aware that she wore the dress of a human, that she was there to be at her master's service, but... Yang, come in. Ash, do you think you can go and collect Blake? I'm going to show her what a master does. We're visiting Cardin.
Oh boy.
The faunus nodded her head before excusing herself from the room with a soft, I will make her arrangements, Master Jean. Yang looked at him, and he smiled at her, his heart beating a little faster as he got up. I'm sorry, Yang. She shook her head. He should never be sorry for his actions. It's okay, Master. No matter what, I won't ever betray you. No matter how you treat me. He crinkled his nose, smelling her undoubtedly. She felt shame go through her. You've wet yourself. They've mistreated you again, haven't they? She supposed he meant his sisters with that, shaking her head. No. The tension was high. I can't... I'll go wash. She made to leave before his hand grabbed her wrist and kept her in his presence. He smiled and shook his head. No, it's okay. Oh yeah, he enjoys it, doesn't he? Fuck. He smiled, her heart doing a little hippity-hop dance. He was so kind. All right. Since you're wearing a dress, did Saffron give you one of hers? I think I saw this one at the autumnal ball a few years ago. Yeah, Lady Saffron gave me her dress.
What ball?
Autumnal ball.
Oh, I thought you said atomic ball.
Atomic ball.
I'm like, what?
At the atomic
There you
bomb
go.
shell.
That's your way of making your character go in.
Anyways.
Fucking atomic ball. He gets into this universe via the atomic ball, and he just proceeds to murder everyone.
She obviously cared for her younger brother to bottle up this resentment. Yang supposed that she would have to rein in her temper, knowing that the mistress would want kisses and other services. She loves you, Master Jean. He smiled kindly. He took her hands before arranging them. All right. Follow after me. A step here. And he moved with a grace and elegance of a performer. She stumbled over the steps a few times, but he supported her. They were dancing. He was guiding her, and she was actually dancing. She felt her heart throb and beat, her eyes looking at him. She was only aware of the fact that she'd been crying when he moved in and kissed a tear away. Now, don't you cry. You're too pretty to cry, my little Yang.
He should be coughing right now. Holy shit.
My boy is simping. He's simping so fucking
You're
hard.
fucking simp.
Which is weird because he can literally get any faunus slave he wants.
Speaking of cringe, please, guys, help me.
What? Help you with what?
Fucking help me.
Oh my
Help me.
fucking god, Reno, shut up.
Is fucking Reno still going off? Holy fucking
Yes!
balls there.
Reno, read the fucking book. Oh my god. Okay, I'll take this at the head with Reno, read the fucking joke.
Here we go. I'll just fucking send him the best gif.
Oh my god.
There you go. Yes.
Everybody just pops in to tell him to shut the fuck up. Oh my lord. Oh my god. Oh, read the fucking real books and figure it out. Okay, let's continue on here. After that short
beautiful.
detour. Oh boy.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, whatever audience there is, probably
if there
none.
even is one, I don't even care.
We were
Yeah,
having
yeah.
a little minor moment.
Somebody might accidentally stumble upon this some point and be like, yeah, this is somehow entertaining.
Now, this is better than nothing. I can spend my hours listening to this guy
I've done
autistically talk about fucking books and writing and reading and shit. Anyways, She sniffed lightly, laying her head against his shoulder. She felt so warm and fluffy as he guided her through the steps, his voice telling her how to move, and her body moving. It felt natural. It felt as if it had been intended this way. It was as if they were just two young lovers dancing together. She couldn't deny the feelings inside her any longer, not after her heart had bled and cracked at seeing him in such pain. She had heard his heartbeat, and she had tried to cheer him up. She had tried so hard to make sure that he found the burden lighten on his shoulder.
But in the end, it doesn't even matter.
She needs that seed up her baby shitter.
She wants the cum. She wants to enter the cum
The
zone.
cum zone.
Wants the cummies.
Father of lies, come in disguise. Your cum won't last. There's a snake in my ass, the cum father's secret stash. I don't remember the rest.
Let's just avoid getting a music bot, otherwise they just randomly get added. Come in my ass.
Well, I tried to play Gay Bar earlier.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah,
Aw.
Let me take you to a gay bar. A gay bar.
there's a reason why I don't have a fucking music bot in here.
Yeah, because we'd just be playing copyrighted music or really,
Everywhere,
really troll songs.
constantly, and I just get copy strikes constantly. Anyways. She leaned forward and kissed him on the lips in a bold move. A spark of electricity seemed to shoot right down her spine as her arms pulled him closer. A soft groan as he kissed her back. She wanted more. She wanted to rip his clothes off and let him take her. She wanted to howl and scream and moan like she was the woman of his life. She was a faunus, and she could never be with him. She was a slave, a former whore, but he was Yang. He was hard against her, his smell showing excitement. She was better than the pussycat. She was loyal to her man. Master John, I'm not going to abandon you for someone who doesn't know what a wonderful man you are. She was sure if he had to go through the world, she would be his shadow if he let her. Blake doesn't. Her eyes firmed. Blake would fall in line or be crushed below a dragon's claws. She will learn. The words were ominous, but Yang knew that the girl would.
Are you trying to do a Hulk Hogan impersonation?
Oh, brother!
Brother.
Ooh yeah, brother. Snap it to a Slim Jim.
Nobody took from Yang Xiaolong what she did not wish to give whilst she enjoyed the relative freedoms. I love how they just keep on adding more qualifiers to that statement.
Fucking dingle dog.
She might have been a whore trying to make ends meet for a place to stay and food, but now she was owned. She would not tolerate anyone making her man unhappy. And he hesitated. I'd like you to come along with me to my... Well, I suppose you could call him a friend. It's more of a lower-ranked acquaintance. After you've had a bath, you do kind of smell. Just the fucking shit out. He winked at her with a smile on his face, showing his white teeth. She smiled, no matter what. If that cat did anything wrong, she would make sure that Jean would never witness it. Her man would be safe, secure, and sexually satisfied, or else she was no daughter of Tai Yang Xiaolong.
We done?
Nope.
We done?
Nope. Nope. You're not done.
How much longer?
It would be faster if you stopped moaning.
I need to go to bed, god damn you.
Blake Belladonna sat in her cage, alone.
We can make it together.
Looks and jeers had been training down on her. The slurs that implied that she was the Faunus savior. There to come and rescue them from their life by bringing them death. She had seen Juniper Ark stand at the door, her blue eyes looking at her with a look that brooked no explanation. The weapon was in the woman's hands even as she did not speak. There was a lethal look there, the look of a woman who would not tolerate an answer to the question that she would ask. Yet she did not speak. The door opened and the crocodile Faunus entered, looking at her with a look that was as frosty as the frozen peaks.
Stop.
A look that was a look.
That looked like a look made of looks. Times the
She was
looks
looking at her
squared.
with a look made of looks.
My God.
Blake didn't get up. She didn't want to be kicked anymore. Your grandfather would be ashamed of such a granddaughter. The daughter of such a noble man, shouting and raving like a lunatic. The name of her grandfather hadn't been accounted for in the history of the Faunus that she'd been taught. Her father knew his name, her mother knew his name, but nobody had told her the name. It was a taboo, a name which had been banned from being spoken by decree of the tiger. He betrayed us. He led the murderer. The foot cut her shout off as Ash looked down on her with a baleful look. You don't say! He caused peace, dumb girl. It was the blade or extinction for us. Through his actions you were born. Respect your grandfather, even though others do not see the sacrifice he made for our people. The anger on her face was alive, as opposed to being dead. As her gaze met the ruby gaze of the crocodile Faunus. A traitor who should have been. The hand grabbed her by the collar and lifted her up. Blake choked once more as the grip that had been at the back of her neck, like some cat being raised by its mother. I will not let you speak about that nobleman like that, you unfilial child. Never presume that he was anything but a man who cared for his people. A method with the least bloodshed at the cost of his honor. The words were spoken with anger as the woman's gaze bored into her own.
You have no honor!
Really? I thought it was a case of happiness.
You have no honor! My honor!
We are to go to your master. He has seen it fit to grant you a final chance at redemption. There was a dark tone to the woman's voice as the woman continued, her steps unhurried as they continued. Oh, no, they're just gonna pause. The choking sensation as she was literally held up by the collar, the woman's arms raised, her weight supported without a fault.
Yes, we already know this. You brought it up before. Stop mentioning it. Holy dick's fucking dingle-dong motherfucking hole. Jesus.
And the truth will set you free. The woman spoke as the hot glow of aura wrapped around her. She felt her throat breathe in the air, the woman's other hand supporting her, right in an armpit. The low voice of the woman was loud with the suddenly silent surroundings. Do you think that Master Jean Arc is fit to be your master? Fear gnawed at her face as she recalled those blue eyes, the blonde hair. Under other circumstances, she would have said yes. If he had been a Faunus with such an attitude, she would have agreed. But he was human. He was scum. Raping scum, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Her mouth betrayed her, and she wanted to cry. She thought he wasn't so bad. She had to make the Faunus rise up. Not. Why do you resist? Why do you fight? The haze of battle, the conflict, pressed against the earth, hearing the ox's voice. I'll come for you, Blake. I'll come for you. Make them rise up, Blake. I trust you. Wait, this is the ox, so it means it's the Adam, the faggot.
Yeah.
I'll come for you. Make them rise up, Blake. I trust you can do it. Pay the human backs and give them that which they deserve.
Oh my god, that fits so well.
It fits with Adam so well. Oh my god.
The words emerged to her
What
shame.
about him?
He said that he would come for me, to rise up against them. He is the ox.
a sigh exploding from the woman's mouth as Blake found herself dropped to the ground, landing unpleasantly. Blake had the unfortunate impression that she had said something wrong before the hand grabbed her by the hair and the woman started to drag her away. Well, sorry to say, but he's not going to be coming for you. Cling to your rebellious sots like a cripple clutches at her crutches, Blake Belladonna. The ox is not going to come for a mere daughter of a traitor, as you so call him. The woman's eyes were cold as Blake felt the shudder slip through her. She had to try, right? A gush of warmth as she remembered the rapist and how good that time that he'd touched her again had felt. It had felt like warm bath without actual soap, telling her of the care for his pets. The blonde traitor didn't look so unsatisfied either, but he's
Hates us yet?
We need all the porn sounds and music right now. All of them.
He's going to come for me, right? She
he'll
didn't
come for
know.
you.
Right? Doom! Blake's illusions are shattered. We will see Ash being a badass old lady, though she looks to be around 50, and the beginnings of Nightshade. Yes, it's been a tense situation with Blake acting out, but sometimes you've got to I hate that pun. Sometimes you've got to Blake a few eggs before you can make an omelet. Enjoy.
This story is not. This story is like all Dragon Slayer. There's no Nightshade in this fucking story. Cat, back me up on this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Wasn't it originally
Also-
meant to be Blake?
It was originally meant to be Blake and John, and then this motherfucker's obsession with Yang. He puts Yang in all of his works because he really wants to fuck her or something.
All I know is the author of this really needs to eat an apple made out of razor blades.
Yeah.
Wait,
You and
is
me
that
will
what
make
the
it
fucking ships are called?
They're. Yes, ships are called that. Nightshade is John and Blake. Dragon Slayer is John
Who the
and
fuck
Yang.
sees that
and
one
stuff.
going?
What?
Either of
All
them.
right, all right. You guys want to know something funny?
No. No. Please, God, no.
It's not related to this story, right? So what happened
still afraid.
is that you saw what he posted, right? Do you still need to roll a medicine if you're proficient? That takes one Google search.
But I want the answers given to me here instead of having to look for them. Can't find.
It took him 10 minutes to say he does how proficiency works.
Is Reno secretly like a 90-year-old woman?
No, he's just a fucking.
He's just lazy. He's just the world's
Anyway,
laziest son
are
of a
you
bitch.
guys done?
Yes.
I think so.
Alright, it was a good night, guys. I'm going to go to bed. And
See
then
you
I'm
tomorrow.
going to, I'll be
For,
up tomorrow.
Thingy.
Yeah,
Torture session.
yeah, but also we're going to do my D&D session, if you guys are up for it tonight, tomorrow.
What time is that?
Same time as
it's
we
like
usually
noon to
start.
4.
Yeah.
Noon to 4. Should I start the anime thing like later tomorrow then, around 4? Or...
Yeah, we can just do it at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do
It's
it
only
at 4
gonna be
then.
it's gonna be a short session. Like,
Wait,
usually around like
4
hours.
Eastern Standard Time or 4 your time? Kitty?
My time. So
5 my time.
What's
Eastern
that for
Standard
me?
Time is like 5 p.m.
What's that for me?
No idea.
We don't know, we don't care.
Anyway, have a good night, guys.
Have a nice night.
Also,
That's kind
your
of important
voice
for me because
your
otherwise
voice
I'm not going
that
to be
you
able to
picked
join
for
you
Adam,
for.
that was fucking great.
What'd you say, Lal?
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's a bad time, I'm probably not gonna be able to join you guys.
Well, that's just
Or,
the time for the Dark Heresy. It's the same time.
Ah, fair enough.
Anyway, talk to you later.
See ya.
Yeah.
So I was clapping because this is the first time I've ever seen Cap go to bed at a reasonable time.
Yeah. God fucking
And
bless.
that's rich coming from me because I go to bed at like 2 in the morning. But
2 in the morning, motherfucker. I stay up till like 8.
yeah, but I spend my nights working.
Fair enough.
I just want to reiterate my undying hatred for everybody in this goddamn story.
Oh, it's absolutely terrible. I hate them all.
I was gonna say I'm gonna spoil it now because I couldn't
No.
care less.
No,